Okay, on the second follow-up call, we're going to kind of just be talking to the person, and let me pull up Zillow. All right, so we'll have Zillow pulled up, and we'll call them back, and we'll want to talk about the last thing that we talked about in our previous conversation and bring up some rapport. Ask them how they're doing, how their day's going, this and that, and then whenever we start talking to them, we'll be like, hey, hey John, how you been since the last time we talked? Or if he talked about how he was about to go buy a new gun. Hey John, did you ever go buy a new gun that you got? How'd you like it? Have you shot it yet? This and that. We just want to talk to them, be people persons, and then and then after that, we'll just go over and confirm the repairs and any other major repairs that need to be done, and also we'll ask them, how much do you think the house will sell for if you fix it up all the way? How much how much repairs do you think the house will need if you were to bring it up to 2020 standard? And then once they give you that answer, okay, is that with you doing all the work yourself or hiring people out? And then you go from there, and then you'll ask them questions, and then you'll kind of go over the the last conversation that y'all had, and what they kind of told you they wanted, and then you'll use some comps to your advantage. So if they say they wanted 100,000, you'll look, be like, well, that property over on 3804 Chapman Road sold for 60,000, and that property there, that property there, is about the same size as yours, same condition and everything. You're wanting 100, that one sold for 60. And then you'll also, let's see what else. You're wanting 100,000, and this property on 2518 Hikes Lane sold for 68,000. And you'll just go from there and talk to them about that, and then see if they can do any lower than the price that you said. Be like, I've got an offer for you, but I really don't even want to tell you. It's kind of low. And then see if they'll go down any more on their price. And then whenever you give the offer, don't, always say what if. And then you want to use some kind of exact number. So, whatever your offer is, you tell them, what if I could do $37,462 and, cover the closing cost and close within 21 days, so you don't have to worry about the property no more, because we're going to buy it as is. Because it's important to tell them, the benefits of the company, but it's even better to tell them how it benefits them in that aspect. Okay, so how does this benefit me? More or less. And yeah, because you want to tell them the benefits, but you want to tell them how it benefits them ultimately. Okay, so how does this benefit me? Is what you need to explain to them, and then you go from there. And then you'll try to negotiate with them. And I'll tell you in a different video, kind of what to do if they say yes, what to do if they say no. But you always want to tell them before you give them the offer. Is it okay? It's okay to say no to my offer. We would just like a yes or no from you today, because we want a yes or no from them today, because we all know that a maybe most of the time is a no. And that just is kind of like a mind frame thing where we, say that to them just so they won't just be like, maybe, and then we never hear from them again, because it happens.